It is update day. I have literally just loaded into the game. I have not touched anything. I have not looked at anything. We are doing this all for the first time. This is probably going to be the biggest update this game has received, or the most impactful in recent history. Obviously, it's only been about 2 or 3 weeks since the last update where we got Morton Rex and we got the boss overhaul, and they've already churned out another update, and another hugely impactful update. Because as you guys know, this is going to be an update that buffs literally, or no, not everything, but almost every single hybrid or tournament hybrid in the entire game, which is just insane. Our lineup is going to look completely different. I don't even want to know what it's going to look like. But before we get into the lineup, which is probably the most important thing about this update, we do have a new icon in the top left, which I believe is going to be the sort of entrance into clans or guilds or something along those lines for this game, which I think Ludia in the very near future is probably going to be looking to get into, and this is sort of just the teaser for that. So let's go ahead and look what these profiles have to offer. So here we are. Okay, I'm apparently called Sneaky Blue. That is definitely going to have to change. Now I don't know if I'm actually supposed to show this like code next to the name, because obviously, as you guys know, you definitely don't want to show your like special code. I forget what it's called, but it's in the bottom right. When you load up the game, you get this code and you don't want to show that to literally anyone. But I'm guessing this code right here next to my name, Sneaky Blue, that's been given to me, is probably okay to share. Anyway, let's get into the so top 3 non-boss creatures. Yeah, let's get into this. We have Quetzalcoatl, of course. We've literally just maxed that guy out. We have Spinotops, who we're going to max out very soon. And we have Megalacevia. Now, does this mean, it's a bit of a spoiler, but does this mean Quetzalcoatl is now my strongest dinosaur? Does that mean that it is now surpassed Spinotops? Finally. Obviously, we had a level 30 Spinotops being our #1 dinosaur for the longest time. And I think this update has made a Quetzalcoatl at level 40 actually stronger than a level 30 Spinotops, which is very nice, because it does make a bit more sense. Obviously, a Spinotops at level 30 being the strongest creature in the entire game is a little bit crazy. What else do we have here? So, collection 386. So this is all of the dinosaurs that I actually have in the game. And as you can see, I'm missing 6 dinosaurs for max collection. That's nice. I do like that stat. That's a very nice stat to have. So I have 386 dinosaurs out of 392 collected. Then top 10 Frosty. I think this is an average, or like a total maybe. I'm guessing it's a total 104,000 total Frosty for my top 10 dinosaurs. That is kind of crazy. Season started, so this is obviously just it's obviously not counted the previous seasons. So season started 1, seasons completed, that will be 1 very soon, and then badges obtained, that very nice 230. Now let me check. Actually, I'm guessing there's not been any new badges updated here. So yeah, still 230 out of 230. Nice little stat right there. We do need to complete the first stat though for the collection, which is going to take a little bit of time because there's obviously some very difficult dinosaurs to unlock. But we can scroll down as well. Okay. Well, let me change my name first of all. So I can actually put this in right here. And we're going to go for, of course, Keplino. Right there. And you won't be able to change your name for another 30 days. That is fine. There we go, Keplino. And we can also change our profile picture. So let's do that before we do anything else. We have the Owen Grady right here, the iconic Owen Grady. We have the iconic Claire scene right there as well. And then we just have a bunch of... these are very random. What are these? Okay, and then we have a spray can. I was about to say that's a spray can, but no, it's the obviously the Barbasol can or canister from the original Jurassic Park. And then we have Mr. DNA right there. Okay, what am I going to go for though? Which one looks the coolest? We could go for blue. Who am I going to choose? Indominus. That is a nice. I like the pink there. Honestly, I'm gonna choose Indominus. He has one of the nicest designs in the entire game, and it's Indominus, man. Come on. And what are these actually coming soon? Okay, so there isn't like any avatars that you can actually unlock through playing the game, which is something interesting. I think they might want to add that to the game. That'd be a cool little bit of progression. But yeah, we're going to choose Indominus, and then we're going to get on. Let's scroll down. What have we got here? Battles, victories, 0, Dominator. So this is the amount of Dominator leagues that you've got. And your most used creatures. Oh, that is interesting. That is really interesting. So Tuzhong, obviously, because I use him to fodder off in every single battle. And then obviously the compies being the main flock that I use whenever I get hit with a really difficult battle and I need to use flocks, or when I'm in Dominator League and I need to use flocks, I will use those compies. And then Labyrinth is probably because he's also really low down in Frosty, so whenever I need someone just to use, I'll put in Labyrinth. But that is interesting. Obviously, it's a bit annoying because it would be nice to know like what of my top creatures that I use the most, but I don't think there's really any way of doing that because I spam out 2 Zhongs and Compies way too much. So that kind of ruins that stat, but oh well. We'll scroll down. Boss passive abilities unlocked. So we have every single one unlocked apart from Mortem. Yeah, so we have no Mortem Rex here, and then that is it. Okay, so that is all for this sort of profile section. Nice. I like this. This is very, very cool. And you can actually click this. What is this? Okay, so it just brings you straight to the enclosure, and this is taking a very, very long time to load. Wow, okay, that took way too long to load. Okay, get out of there. I do not want to click one of these again. That took so long to load. So we have passives, and then, yeah, these stats right here. Very, very nice. I like this a lot. Definitely, they can expand on this so much now that they've added it to the game. Obviously, you can also add the clans and the guilds to the game, which I'm very, very excited for. Hopefully, we do get that. It's definitely seemingly going to come after this update right here because it's sort of going in that same direction for sure. But that is all for the player profiles. So we have that now, top left. Anything new that I need to look at before we go to the lineup? So I don't think there is. We obviously... This is bad news right here. This collector exchange is very bad news, but I'm not going to talk about it right now because I don't want to be too negative. And this is something very, very negative. So let's just ignore this. It doesn't exist for now. Is there anything else? So maybe in the offers tab, we've got a new offer. I don't think anything from here is new. Yeah, these are all the same. And they're obviously all loading in very, very slowly. Yeah, these are all the same. Okay, so the moment of truth. Let's go to the lineup. This is what everyone's been waiting for. Obviously, my lineup being pretty much maxed. There is literally nothing else I can add to this lineup other than a level 40 Spinotops, of which mine is level 30, waiting to go to level 40, which, by the way, I think I'm going to do for a 1,500 subscriber special. I'll get Spinotops over here. Where is he? I'll get Spinotops over here to level 40 once we reach 1,500 subscribers. I think that's a pretty decent idea. But other than him, we also need Spinoceratops maxed, and then that is it. That is all of the hybrids in the game maxed. So this lineup check is pretty much going to be the max. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Let's just go. Actually, no, before we go, let's do a before, because I did record before this update came out, because I knew this update was coming. I did record a before of the lineup. So let's quickly take a look at what the lineup looked like before this update came in, and then we'll get into the newly updated lineup, because that is going to be, it's going to be insane. It's going to be very, very insane. Okay, let's take a look at what the lineup looks like before the update. So this is it. Most of the dinosaurs are off cooldown, which is good. And we're just going to have a little slow scroll through all of these guys and see where everyone is at, and then see where everyone goes to after the update and after everyone gets all of their buffs. So I think we're just going to go through all the tournament hybrids. Probably won't go further than that. So we've got Elephosaurus there, and then where does this even end? It's probably somewhere around here, yeah. So Glyphonix being the worst tournament hybrid in the game currently, I think. If we scroll down, we don't have any more. Yeah, we just have Indominus there. No tournament hybrids, just a bunch of legendary hybrids. So yeah, Glyphonix currently the worst tournament hybrid in the game. And if we scroll all the way to the top of the lineup, we have Iguanasuchus, as you guys know, is the best tournament hybrid in the game currently. The best dinosaur in the game currently is still Spinotops. And so we'll see if that changes. And then the best, yeah, I think that's it. The best super hybrid, the best hybrid being Iguanasuchus, the best super hybrid being Spinotops, best dinosaur being Spinotops, and the worst dinosaur right now is Glyphonix, as you can see, followed by Alonogamous, and then Secodontogonathus. So let's see how that changes after the update. Now that we have looked at the before, let's see the after. I'm going to have to quickly sort to Jurassics when we get in here, because actually, no, we can go to something in here. So this is Jurassic. Okay, yeah, this is a Jurassic requirement. Let's go here. Let's see the lineup. The newly improved lineup, pretty much the max lineup in the game. Let's see. Who is going to be the new strongest creature in the lineup? Who is going to be the new strongest hybrid? That's what I'm most interested for. Who is going to be the new strongest Jurassic tournament hybrid in the game? That is what I'm really, really interested in. Okay, let's see. It was previously Iguanasuchus. Who's going to be the strongest, and who's going to be the strongest hybrid? Let's go. Quetzalcoatl is now the strongest, or is now my strongest dinosaur, and wow. It is Ophilocerapsus. Okay. It's an amphibian being the strongest tournament hybrid in the game. It's Ophilocerapsus, or Opha is such an annoying name to say. It's Ophilocerapsus. Yeah, Ophilocerapsus is now the strongest. We have Caprodactylus being the second strongest. Okay. A level 20 Spinotops, by the way, still stronger than both of those. Yeah, a level 20 Spinotops is still stronger than the strongest tournament hybrid in the game. That is just absurd. But thankfully, we do now have Quetzalcoatl at the top spot. At level 40, he has finally surpassed Spinotops at level 30, which is just kind of crazy. And then Megalocevia still at level 40, yet to pass a level 30 Spinotops. Right, but then who is next? So we have Ophocerapsis, we have Caprodactylus, we then have Armor Matter, okay. And then Chromaspinus. So Chromaspinus is the new strongest Jurassic or carnivore tournament hybrid in the game. Wow, okay. And he is stronger than Indoraptor Gen 2. That is kind of crazy. Where is Indoraptor, by the way? Indoraptor is nowhere to be seen. That is kind of, that is interesting. Yeah, Indoraptor is literally nowhere to be seen. Okay, anyway, next we have Cryoloborgiana. He has got a pretty decent upgrade, I think, in terms of where he lands in the lineup. And then we have Bagasaurus. It is very nice to see this guy up here. 6,000 attack. Wow. Okay, that is insane. Is that the most? Is that... No, okay, so yeah, obviously he's not stronger than Spinotops, but 6,000, is that might be the most attack out of all new, or all the newly improved tournament hybrids. Okay, we then have Scorpius Rex, understandable. Iguanosuchus has now fallen. That is probably, Iguanosuchus had such a short-lived time in glory. He was at #1 spot for like 2 weeks, maybe. I think it was 2 weeks. He is now down all the way back here, probably in 10th place, I want to say, out of all of the tournament hybrids. So he's fallen off tremendously. We then have Eudon, who has gotten a nice buff for sure. Definitely a nice buff there. And then, I mean, everyone's got a nice buff, let's be honest. Everyone has a nice buff. We then have Scorpius Rex Gen 2 and Dracoceratops. Dracolux has fallen off tremendously as well. He used to be way at the top of the lineup. He is now all the way down here. But he has 5,800 attack. Again, that is insane. Still though, Bagasaurus at 6,200 is the most. And that's even with these like carnivores right here having the 4% buff from Omega R9's passive ability. So, oh my gosh, yeah, Pachygalosaurus as well. He's also fallen off massively. And then Indoraptor. Finally, we find our Indoraptor all the way down here. Wow. Okay, yeah, that is quite a fall off from Indoraptor. Damn, okay. So, I mean, let's just keep going. We've got Spinotops at level 10. Yeah, that's understandable. Dreaddactylus. Now, the Orthlox in the game did get nerfed. They only got nerfed in their attack and health department, though. Their abilities are still the same. So, really, it just doesn't matter at all, because no one really used these guys for their attack and for their health, other than Dreaddactylus, though, and Compsognator, which, by the way, I'm getting kind of scared, because I don't see Compsognator anywhere near here. And in the previous video, I was literally just talking about giving him a max paddock. So, that's probably not going to happen anymore. We now have Smoothie here, so that is fine. And then Tyrannal, oh my gosh, look at these guys. Tyrannolophosaur and Glyphonix right next to each other. Then they're finally not the weakest dinosaurs. These guys are finally actually decent. We then also have Metrophodon, who has pretty much stayed the exact same, I want to say. I don't think he's, I literally don't think his stats have improved at all. So yeah, he's kind of fallen off now. We then have Secodontogonaphus, who's gotten a slight upgrade. Still nothing too crazy, only 4,000 attack, which for being, I mean, he is more of an attacker than a health tank, so for being more of an attacker, his 4,000 attack stat is it's nothing too crazy. But we do have Alanogamus right there, and then Cerazinosaurus as well. Cerazinosaurus, of which definitely has not received a buff. His stats stay the same, and yeah, you can tell because he's all the way down here in the lineup. Alanogamus, though, he has got a nice buff, 4,000 attack. Okay, that is very nice. That is very nice for Alanogamus. We then have Pteroquetzal and Zalmonodon. And then Segnosutrus, who did not get a buff. Yeah, but Zalmonodon, I think, got a very tiny buff. And Pteroquetzal, still pretty useless, I'll be honest. He's still very, very useless. 13,000 health, but, I mean, we don't really care about health. And then 2,000 attack, that is pitiful. And then we finally find our Compsognator all the way down here with the likes of Erliphosaurus. Oh man, okay. That is, yeah, Erliphosaurus, don't think he received a buff either, which is understandable because he's sort of a, I think, yeah, I mean, he's combined with Dilophosaur, who is only a rare, so he makes sense being down here. But Compsognator, wow, he has definitely fallen off, that is for sure. This guy is nowhere to be seen. And then we get down to our Scunosaurus, and that is probably it. Gorgosutrus might be the new weakest tournament hybrid, unless there's someone down here, which I hope not. Yeah, so this is all just regular legendary hybrids. And then our VIPs over there. We have our super hybrids at level 40, the rares and the super rares. And then we have the new weakest link is Gorgosutrus. And his stats have not improved at all. So yeah, that's fine. Honestly, I'm fine. It makes so much more sense, actually, that Gorgosutrus is now the newest, weakest tournament hybrid in the game next to Allosaurus, because these guys have been in the game for ages. They've been like the oldest tournament hybrids in the game. I think Gorgosuchus is, yeah, so he's with Postosuchus, who is a super rare. So it makes sense that he's only all the way down here. But man, that is kind of crazy. The lineup has changed considerably. Key things to note here though, Indoraptor all the way down here. We then have a 6,000 attack Bagosaurus, which by the way, if we sort by attack, I'm pretty certain that is going to be the most attack in the game. It is. It is the most attack out of all tournament hybrids. Second is Dracolux. Third is Scorpius Rex Gen 2. So that is nice. That is very, very nice indeed. And then we have, not Spinotops, not Indoraptor. Then we have Scorpius Rex. And then Metrophodon, even after all of the buffs, he is still in 5th out of all attack. That is insane. Fukimamus got a nice buff in attack as well. 5,200, but wow. 6,200 for Bagosaurus. That is insane. And then as you can see, 7,200 for Spinotops. Wow. I mean, yeah, the health and attack stats on these dinosaurs now is just crazy to think. But I mean, it was so needed. It was so needed. The game was so incredibly unbalanced in terms of all of the dinosaurs in the like all of the top dinosaurs in terms of tournament hybrids and just legendary hybrids. It was so unbalanced. So this is the perfect update for that. Honestly, I cannot fault them for this. This part of the update is just amazing. I cannot fault them at all. And I also cannot fault them for the profiles. The profiles also a very nice addition. So overall, this is a very, very good update. I'll be honest. It's a excellent update, actually. Excellent. And then for this update, in terms of actual new content, there's not really any new content outside of the profiles. And yet this update is so incredibly impactful. So I think they've definitely done a good job. I mean, that is, yeah, that is very, very good. It's very, very interesting now to see all of these guys right here. Mainly these guys, the Allonogamus, the Glyphonix, and the Tyrannolophosaur, which I went on for so long about how their stats were just dreadful. They had such awful stats for what they were, obviously being tournament hybrids, and they now have finally got their much needed buffs. But to see an amphibian, I'm honestly happy that an amphibian is now the strongest hybrid in the game, or tournament hybrid in the game, with Ophocerapsus. I would still prefer it being a carnivore. I just think it makes much more sense being a carnivore. But I didn't like how Iguanosuchus, here he is. I didn't like how Iguanosuchus was the new strongest tournament hybrid. It definitely makes more sense being a Ophocerapsus, because amphibians are super useful, because obviously they're used against carnivores of which are the most abundant class in the entire game, and so you need as many good amphibians as possible. And so the two main takeaways from this update is that Ophocerapsus is now the new strongest tournament hybrid. He is an amphibian, and then that where is he? Bagosaurus right here now has 6,200 health, or attack, sorry, and he's also an amphibian. So yeah, very good news there. And it's also good news that Chromospinus is the new strongest carnivore in the game. And yeah, he's literally, even accounting for super hybrids, he's also still the strongest carnivore in the game, which is awesome to see, because I absolutely love, and I think a lot of people will agree with me here in the fact that his design is so cool. He is one of the coolest designs in the entire game. This guy's he's an absolute menace. See if we can get him angry right there. He is so cool, yeah. So I'm very happy that this guy is now the strongest carnivore in the game. I think it makes perfect sense. Obviously, the Indoraptor fall off is a little bit sad to see, but hey, what can you do? He did have his time at the top for a little while. He has now fallen massively in the lineup, but I mean, it's fine. He does his job at level 10, and that's really all you need him for. Just this level 10 version right here. The level 40 is massive overkill anyway, and yeah, I think it's just nice to see a new contender for the carnivores being Chromospinus at level 40. That is very cool. Now, one more thing I did want to do in this update is check, is Hydroboa, I think he is he still the strongest in the entire game? Let's see. Oh yeah, he is. He is still the strongest. And then obviously Spinotops coming in at number 2 with 20,000 health and 8,500 attack. That is insane. And then these stats, again, they are so overkill. Why is Hydroboa been buffed? I don't know. But he has been buffed. He has been buffed to almost 30,000 health, 9,300 attack. Why? Why does he have that much health, and why does he have that much attack? I have no idea. I still have no idea how a Cenozoic dinosaur got into the number 1 slot in the game. But I mean, hey, Ludia, they make some interesting decisions, and they had a chance to enormously nerf this guy with this update, or buff someone over him, but they still chose to make Hydroboa the number 1 creature in the game. And by the way, still one of the only creatures I don't have. I am working towards him, don't worry, but yeah. That is kind of insane. He's still the number one, and he's been buffed massively, which is, yeah, definitely unneeded. But I mean, hey, what can you do? Ludia, they do what they want, I guess. Oh, that does remind me though, in terms of Cenozoics, the Cenozoic hybrids and the Taunt hybrids did get big buffs as well. So let's go to the Cenozoic lineup. And has anything really changed here? Yes, it has. We used to have the level 30 VIPs right here. They used to come behind these 4 level 40 hybrids. But now Rhinopterodon, Mammotherian, Smithoceras, even Archaeopython has also just shot up the lineup. They now my entire first page right here is all hybrids, which is perfect. That's what you want. That is definitely what you want to see, because previously it was a bunch of VIPs beating out these hybrids. I mean, yes, they are only at level 20, but still, VIPs being better than the hybrids doesn't make much sense. So this does make a lot more sense now, and I'm guessing it's probably the same for Cenozoics, or for Aquatics, sorry. It is, yeah, it is. Okay, wow. Gillyrintrops has got a massive buff. I remember talking about how bad he was. His stats were absolutely horrendous. His stats are now very good. And Geolasmosaur as well, he's shot up. Now we have the level 40, yeah, so we have these level 40 super rare hybrids being better than a level 40 VIP. That makes perfect sense. That makes so much more sense. And then we still have these guys right here, but they are definitely, yeah, they're buffed significantly. Yeah, that is very nice to see. Very nice to see indeed. And I'm honestly curious though, what are their stats? Shall we look at their stats at level 40? I guess we probably should. So let's go Aquatics, hybrids, and then take a look here. So, oh wow, okay, yeah, these guys have got big buffs. Gillyrintrops for sure, but then also all of these other guys as well. So Hynecoprion, yeah, also, I don't think Hynecoprion got a buff. So that means he's kind of underwhelming now, but these guys all got buffs. Yep, I think this guy got a buff, and I think that is also buffed. So this makes a lot more sense now, especially since Aquatic hybrids were super expensive. I mean, they still are super expensive, but now their stats just make much more sense for their price. So that is, yeah, that is very good. And then if we take a look at the Cenozoics as well, these guys have also got big buffs. Sapamphera, I think that's a buff. I really can't even remember, because to be honest, I don't have these guys at level 40, so I don't really know their stats off the top of my head, but they definitely have, yeah, they definitely have been buffed. Even if just a little bit, and it definitely makes much more sense for their DNA pricing now. Yeah, much better. Very good job, Ludia. Very well done. Alright, yeah, so I think that's probably all for the update. We had a look at the profiles and the lineup buffs, of course. We now know exactly what the best possible lineup in the game looks like. And I guess we should look at Spinoceratops. Look at his stats real quick. So that is pretty insane. 1,200. Let's just look at the ferocity and then we'll compare it. 9,120. 9,120. Go to the lineup and sort by ferocity. 9,120. Where would that put Spinoceratops? Just below Scorpius Rex. Okay, yeah. So in between Scorpius Rex and Iguanosuchus. So he is now the second strongest herbivore in the game. Yeah, so second strongest after Armor Matter, and in between Scorpius Rex and Iguanosuchus. That is where Spinoceratops would sit. I guess we should look at the pay to win. I don't want to entertain this dinosaur. I don't even want to acknowledge his existence, but I guess we should look at Pukuday. Where is he? Here he is. The pay to win hybrid that you can only get from paying 9,341. Wow, okay, that is quite a lot. Where is I going to put him in the lineup? Not the strongest, that's for sure. Not the strongest. 9,300. He would sit right below. Was it 9,341? He sits in between Bagasaurus and Cryoloborgiana. So Cryoloborgiana, still the second strongest pterosaur. Caprodactylus, still the strongest. So yeah, he is nothing too crazy, which is nice, obviously, because he is a pay-to-win creature. Hopefully, Ludia adds a way to get him for free very soon, because it's annoying having a hybrid locked behind a paywall of £40, by the way. £40 paywall, because he's only unlockable from the season pass. I have seen some leaks about new hybrids being added to the game. I'm not going to talk about them just yet, because it's still very early days, but hopefully these new hybrids that come to the game are not going to be also paywalled, because that would be extremely disappointing. But yeah, I think that is all for the update. We had a look at the lineup, we had a look at the profiles, and I think that is it in terms of new things added to the game. But not much added to the game content-wise, but still, it was a very significant and impactful update, that is for sure. Probably the most impactful in recent history. Because yes, we did just get a new update 2 weeks ago for these bosses, but I mean, this wasn't too impactful. It was, it was decent. It was obviously a lot more content than this update, but yeah, this update is going to change the game for sure with all the new buffs. It is very nice to see. That's probably it though. I will actually, before I end, I will talk about this collector's exchange because got to get it off my chest. This is awful. I really just cannot get my head around what Ludia was thinking when they put this in the game. I saw it got leaked and I was hoping that maybe they'll change it before it actually came to the game. But these three creatures, these just the legendaries, Dimetrodon, Suchomimus, and Scapagonaphus, they are all amber creatures, which means you need 1.2 million amber to max these guys out if you haven't got them maxed out already, which is in itself insane. But then we get onto the other requirements. The Carinosaurus at level 40 and the Masayakosaurus at level 40 as well. What were we thinking here? These are both collector's exchange dinosaurs. You can only get them solely from collector's exchanges, of which I'm very lucky because I have them both unlocked, so I can get this guy unlocked, and I will be getting him unlocked, but I will be very regrettably getting him unlocked because these are, I mean, it's just insane. Carinosaurus level 40. There is probably only a handful of players in the game who actually have both these guys unlocked and now have the opportunity to get the Spino unlocked. I just don't know. It is just insane. I thought we were past the days of requiring players to have level 40 tournament creatures in order to just unlock a singular copy of the Spino. It is just really, really sad to see. Obviously, it's going to go under the radar because the update itself was very, very good, I must say. But little things like this, they do make an impact in the game, and it is very, very annoying, very disheartening to see Ludia return to these ways of giving super, super difficult unlocks to dinosaurs because, let's be honest, very, very few people are going to get this guy unlocked because of these requirements. And that's just not very fun, I'll be honest. Not very fun. Hopefully, Ludia can learn from this and make the next collector's exchanges be a little bit less insane. But hey, we'll just have to see. For now, though, the update was very good. The lineup has improved significantly. And I mean, enormously. We've got obviously the new profiles right here, which is excellent. I love this. This is a very cool update. Super interesting to see all these stats right here. And yeah, overall update, probably if I had to give it a ranking out of 10, I'd say 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. Very, very nice. Good job, Ludia. However, let's have a little think about these collector's exchanges right here because they are very, very bad as it stands. But hey, what can you do? We'll just have to see how that changes in the future. For now, though, that is going to be all from me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the new lineup. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.